Can go.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Empower MEN1 podcast. Today I have with me Brad, who has really kindly agreed to come on and share with us his patient experience so far of MEN1, everything he's been through, what he's learned so far, and wisdom's nuggets of gold that he's picked up along the way. Welcome, Brad. Super cool to have you here.
Hi. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been on a podcast before, so this should be interesting.
Always a first time for everything. It's really cool to have you on. Thank you very much for sparing your time. So I kind of just wanted to jump in and ask you first and foremost, what is your story with MEN1? What has your journey been like so far managing this condition? Where's it brought you to now?
It's definitely been a road full of obstacles, a lot of learning experiences, growing up, and naivety. um, it's I've had a lot, obviously quite a few ops, big ones, obviously with the pancreas removal. And then just learning curves with medication, trying to juggle school and then my career as well. So yeah.
It's definitely can be a complicated one, I think. And you were diagnosed pretty young, is that right?
So I was diagnosed at 17. However, my first obstacle with MEN1 was when I was about 11. So that all began with I was actually in year 6, playing for the school football team, and where I'd usually play out on field on like a left wing. No one else turned up, so we had no goalkeeper, so he stuck me in goal. And I think we had the worst defeat in history of the school leagues, which was 11-0. He said, "Go get your eyes tested." So I went and got my eyes tested, which I usually do every year anyway. But then, just on the off chance this time, the optician spotted a black dot at the back of my optic nerve. So he's referred me to Queen Alexandra Hospital over in Portsmouth to go and have a MRI done. So I had that done about couple months later, must have been. And then once I had the scan, initially they said everything was fine and I could go home. And then about 4 hours later, my mother had a call from the consultant or whoever looked at the scan results and said, yeah, Brad needs to go to Southampton General Hospital right now. They're preparing him for theatre for the morning. So not much was really explained apart from there was a lump and it had to be removed in the morning or at least dealt with in some way. So
Wow. I mean, that all happened what in a matter of hours?
yeah. So I think the scan was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then by 6 o'clock, my mother was on the phone. And by 8 o'clock, I was in the hospital. And then I think I was in theatre at 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock the next morning.
That's incredible. I mean, for everything to have happened so quickly. And what was the kind of the process between them, you know, doing the scan, the surgery, and then those years between that surgery and your diagnosis? What was the kind of what happened in that time?
Um, so between that space, obviously, I was had to transition from junior school to secondary school. That all went fine. Well, sort of. There's the at the time. No, sorry. So I had the scan when I just moved up to secondary school. So actually, it took a few months for it to all sort of come together. And then I had a bit of a rough year. What with the conception of people with tumours are sort of what's the word? Uh, it can be passed on just by the simple fact of a touch. So therefore, I didn't exactly have many friends. There was a case of bullying for about 6 months, and then I had the little half days that you do here and there. And then a couple of years later, they found out that due to the tumour on the pituitary gland, it was stunting my growth. So then I had to go through rounds of growth injections, which I'd done for about 4 years. Um, and then they, because of the growth injections, it made sockets and hips and all the other bits and bobs in the body grow like within different speeds. So then my hips popped out and I had to pin them in. And then I went to college. And then I just had a random phone call from my consultant saying, we think you might have MEN1 or other types of MEN. So then they done the blood tests, obviously with my parents as well, and found out I was the sole creator of the mutated gene. So I'm the only one in the family, which is kind of cool, but yeah, no one else to really talk about with it.
When you do kind of want to talk about it, or yeah, find someone who can relate, like has that been easy? Has that been something you've been able to do, or do you still find it quite tricky?
Um, in my younger years, it was definitely difficult. I didn't really think I needed to at the time, and then as soon as I got to my early 20s, life sort of span out of control with more surgeries, not being able to work. And I think I may have found myself with some sort of depression and stuff, but I mean, I'm clearly out of it now, but I definitely needed to talk, and the people that I go to are their their family. I wouldn't speak to my immediate family, so my mother, my father, because there's some things that a young man doesn't want to show towards their parents or have them see. So I went to, he's sort of like my godfather, so he's my father's best friend, and we'd go out and we'd have a pint, have a beer, have a bit of lunch or something, and we'd just chat. And it wouldn't be just me who'd talk about myself; it'd be him as well. So it was good for the both of us. But definitely, as I've gotten older, I've found that I can associate better with people that are older than me. So for people my own age, I mean, as we've got older, it's got better, obviously, because you grow up, mature, and you see the world in a different sort of light. But as a young man, very naive. You don't really know what you're talking about most of the time.
So you think in some ways maybe MEN1 forced sort of accelerated growth on you?
Definitely. I mean, obviously, I still had that like childish wit about me. Definitely some sort of bit of humour, and behavioural wise, it was still there. Like when I was 16, I still behaved like a 16-year-old. However, the way I spoke and thought about things, definitely that progressed. So by the time I was 18, I probably had the mindset of like, the late 20s, like I am now.
Definitely something that I realized by talking to you is that you have a very balanced perspective on things. And I think the way I describe you is definitely a glass half full person. You always look first for what there is to be grateful for in a situation. Do you think that's something that your experience with MEM1 taught you, or do you think that was there anyway?
I think it was a bit of both. So the glass half full, I've definitely noticed within the past 5 years since having my pancreas surgeries. Uh, when it comes to a point of having hypos, which basically force you into a mini coma, so to speak, having them every day for like 3 months and having ambulances, paramedics turn up at your house, and your mother and stepfather and your siblings and stuff having to watch you go through that, and then in some cases they had to like pin me down in order to give me a EpiPen injection, to basically blast me with sugar. And sometimes, well, because I was in a mini coma, like I didn't have any control over my thoughts or behavior, so I was very aggressive. Um, but yeah, definitely with the pancreas surgeries and having your consultant sort of phone up and going, yeah, well, not consultant, surgeon, phone up and go, yeah, we're gonna give you Whipple surgery, which is to obviously remove your bile ducts and your pancreas and your spleen and your duodenum. Um, he said that I'd probably only have about 20 years to live after, which is obviously different compared to what the consultant said, as the surgeons most of the time they're not really studied in that sort of background. They just know how to remove the organ, so to speak. But yeah, it got me thinking about what I want and where I want to go as soon as I was able to basically stand up and start working again. And that definitely brought on the optimistic view on life, well, in my view, I suppose. But it may differ to other people around me.
I think when you describe, being told you might only have, 20 years, um, that's just not something that anyone ever pictures, themselves being told or imagines themselves being told. And I think in your, from what you told me from your experience of it, for that to have kind of incentivized you to sort of go out there and make of your life whatever you could, I think is really inspiring, really inspiring. And I mean, when you were told that kind of 20 years or whatever, did that freak you out, or do you think there was a part of you that knew that maybe it could be different, maybe things could happen a different way?
Um, it's a bit of a blur, to be honest. The first half hour after the phone call, I was just sort of numb. I didn't cry, didn't do anything really. Just sort of sat on the sofa. Went outside for a smoke every now and again because smoker guilty. But I from what I remember, I phoned my mother up about half hour after the original phone call, and I broke down. And she was at work with my stepdad, and they both had to come home early. Um, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Of course. Yeah, you were in the midst of answering it actually when I was asking about what, when you heard that news, when the surgeon rang you up and gave you that news about, maybe not more than 20 years. My question was, did that freak you out, or do you think there was something inside of you that knew, like, maybe that wasn't going to be the case, maybe it could be different, maybe there was something to be done?
Um, so in a way, yes. I always had like a little inkling, but I don't think it was to do with knowledge that perhaps maybe, oh yeah, it's just a surgeon, he don't know nothing. I think it's more determination of like, no, that can't happen. I haven't even started living yet. I've never had a job, never had nothing. I literally come out of college. I'm still basically still a kid at 25. So but then after chatting with my consultant, yeah, that's definitely where it all changed, and I was like, no, it's basically a second chance at life now. So yeah, it's definitely bringing back some memories, things I haven't been able to remember since.
Do you find yourself reflecting on it quite a lot, your experience with MEN1, or do you think it's very much blended into life for you now? It's just sort of become part of you?
um, that's tricky because I mean, even till like, up until now, I still fight it every day, like just to become normal, so to speak. But no, I'd say it's definitely integrated. But I've had more of a problem of it being integrated than, say, people around me or my employer. So it's different from all aspects. But yeah, I struggle, but it's just one of them things. You just got to live with it. You haven't got a choice. So
Absolutely. And I love what you said about determination. There was just something in you that, was absolutely gonna live,
yeah,
and
exactly.
and not necessarily live, um I think, yeah, live and make the life that you wanted for yourself. As you said,
Yeah,
you felt like you just only started to live.
yeah,
you
no,
know
no, it's pretty much like so after the final pancreas op, I was deemed fit enough to work. So I just got a little job at the casino, which I really enjoyed actually, to be honest. And then but then I had to give that up just because of the hours. It was just too long. First, like my first job, just, especially with trying to get the health back together. I was fit enough to work, but it doesn't mean I was fully healed. So then I found a job as a bartender at my local pub. But again, that was just it was so many hours that I couldn't figure out what I was doing with my life. So like, I knew I had this goal, but I didn't know how to go about it, what to do. But with a stroke of luck, someone come in the pub, and yeah, he sort of guided me to my career, I suppose. So I got a lot to thank him for, not for playing.
Yeah, I love that. Gotta sometimes you gotta sort of stay open to these opportunities, haven't you? Wait for them to present themselves. And I
Yeah.
definitely think that's what you've done. On the subject of kind of work and being fit and healthy and recovering and healing, if someone what we know the conversations going around patient communities is that it can be very difficult for people to integrate back into their lives, and they have issues with um going back to work, or either pre or post-op, having to manage appointments, juggle this, that, and the other. Because you've been through it now, for so many years, what would you say helps you make sure that you are looked after and that you look after yourself now, where you are in your health journey?
Um. Well, to start off with, I don't 100% look after myself. I think it's pretty much impossible. Um. To have to not only deal with appointments, but to fit it all into your life, and then try and lead a normal life again, so to speak. It definitely, you have hiccups. There's no doubt about it. Well, for me anyway. Um. So I forgot the question again. I've got bad
That's all right.
memories due to the tumors in the neck.
Don't you worry. I was just asking, sometimes with managing, something like MEN1, all the appointments, the surgeries, trying to kind of live a normal life or live as normally as possible with MEN1 can be really difficult. And I know you were talking about work and being deemed fit for work, and going back in, but then realizing actually your job at the casino was too much for you. Um, and obviously, it sounds like you've got a level of awareness of kind um, of your health, of what you
Oh,
need.
so yeah, so okay, I remember now. So with regards to trying managing the health and my fitness and well-being, especially mental, along with all this, again, it's not 100%. I've always got back steps, or I have bad days, so to speak. Um, but yeah, just just got to get on with it. So if I have a bad day, I have methods dealing with it. I find a huge part nowadays is the weather. So if it's sunny, whether it's clear skies or overcast, as long as there's a bit of sun out there, I'm happy. But if it's just miserable, grey and overcast all day, no sunshine at all, it really does put a downer on my day. So I stimulate. First thing I do when I wake up is look outside to see if it's sunny or not. And if it's grey, then I'm just like slow. I've got a hump in my step almost, you know. But yeah, I try to do as best as I can, which sometimes I believe is not great, but it's what I can do. So
I love that. It's all about acceptance of what is, which I
yeah,
think sometimes we find as humans we find really difficult, but I think that's a journey we probably a lot of us go through. And so
yeah,
I think that's a really important point. I have
yeah,
one final question, Brad, just before we finish, and I ask this to all of my guests who come on. If you could go back to any point in your journey so far, it might be diagnosis, it might have been back when you were 11 and you had all kind of those sort of first problems starting, or maybe the start of a surgery, whenever it might have been. If you could go back to a past version of yourself and give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Hmm. That's a difficult one because as rough as it's been, I wouldn't change nothing because I'd dread to think who I'll become without this, especially like growing up in certain neighbourhoods that I was in and the people that were about. But I suppose it'd have to be after college, just after college, when I was 18, and it'd just be to not give up hope, because when I finished college and got all my grades, and then I got an apprenticeship to basically kickstart an accounting career, and then for my consultant to be telling me that I'm not fit to work. I think that's what destroyed me and made me go downhill and see no light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, so I'd definitely say just, give up. Don't give up. Just keep on going. It doesn't matter what one person tells you. Just because one person tells you doesn't mean it's true. In which case, in that instance, it proved out that it wasn't true. I could still work. I was told by another consultant a couple of years ago. So I had basically like 6 or 7 years out of work for no apparent reason. So
Well, look at that.
yeah,
On two occasions you've defied, what could have been reality, but actually didn't have to be because you decided not to believe it. You
yeah.
decided to believe what you wanted to believe, which I think is really important. I think it's a balance, isn't there? And I think sometimes we know deep down actually what is true and what's right for us. And actually, I think that's something really important to know. Anyway, Brad, I can't thank you enough for coming on so generously sharing your time, your wisdom, and everything. It's been a pleasure to have you. And I think that your experience and your perspective will resonate with a lot of people. And I think that, yeah, this is an episode that people are going to love listening to. So thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure to have you on.
No worries. Thank you for having me.